All right, what's going on, guys? My name's Logan with West Desert Wheeler. I think I'm going to do a little bit different style video this time. I think I'm just going to film like the whole trail and just kind of do like a vlog style. We'll see how that goes. Today I'm going to run a trail that I've done the loop twice now, and I think I'm going to like actually give it a name, and I'm just going to name it after my dog. So it's going to be the Sydney Trail. So let's go grab our four-wheel steer Capra. I'm going to talk about why I'm running this one today. And then we got the Flysky GT5 controller. I control the rear steer with the little dial right up here so that I have full independent control of the rears, as you'll see out on the rocks in a minute. Let's go hit the trail, have some fun, and check out the new terrain. Controller first, power buttons on the side of the fuel cell. Spektrum brushless censored ESC and motor combo. It's basically a Hobbywing axe rebranded for Spektrum because the Spektrum system will talk with the fancy Spektrum controllers. I do not have that controller, but if you guys are wondering why there is a price difference between the Hobbywing and the Spektrum, it's because these systems talk directly to the Spektrum controllers. And then my Flysky controller, you can see here, there you go. And then I have independent control, and I can do anything I want with that rear steer, and I can even turn it and leave it there. I don't need to have my hands on it to leave the rears where they are. And then I never have to trim out my front steering servo because the rears will trim it for me. Here is Sydney herself. I brought her out today, so just taking her out. This is how she gets her exercise. Instead of me having to take her for a walk, we go rock crawling, and she just runs around the whole time and has a good time. We're out in an area I call Babylon, because there is a trail out here, a real hiking trail that takes you to what is called Babylon Arch. It's a really pretty spot, definitely worth checking out if you're in the area. And it also has killer terrain for RC cars. So, drop down in here. The length of this video might go a little bit crazy, but you know what? A lot of you guys will ask. I've seen quite a few comments asking for longer videos, and I know most of the time I don't want to make like 45-minute videos every time, but on occasion, maybe we'll make a longer video. There you go, wrapping that car right around that rock. Rear's gonna drop off. Oh, it never did. Crab along here. And pretty wild line there. Pretty fun one. So yeah, one of the reasons I brought out the four-wheel steer Capra today is because I'm actually planning on selling this to my brother. I just got a text about an hour ago saying that he wanted to go ahead and buy it. So I have two Capras right now. I think I'm going to take the orange one and probably convert it to be rear steer because I think every Capra deserves to be rear steer. And quite honestly, I just don't need two. So if I can make a little bit of cash on the side, maybe support the next project car that comes up, then and I can get my brother into a Capra, and we're going to go ahead and try that. There we go, trying some front dig. Brought that front end up. There we go, and then put it in four-wheel drive, push it to the wall. All completely articulated out. That's it. That's it. Uh-oh. Might tip over. Ooh, well, it's on its tires. I'll take it. This little line here I thought would be kind of a cool one for a gate in a competition. You'd have to drive up this fin and then drop down the backside. Place some cones along the way. Somewhere to make it difficult. Ended up bellied out here. There you go, pop out the other side. Now we're working our way towards the canyon that kind of loops us back around to where we started. Dropping down this cool little rock formation. So many cool formations out here. There we go, this is a rock formation along the way that's got quite a few lines in it, so we're gonna drive up in here and have some fun, get some of these technical lines knocked out. This is what I like to add to my trails, is those technical spots. But I think we're gonna move this bush out of our way. Apparently one of the sticks caught my trigger. Went the wrong way though, I needed it to go forward. So let's see if we can drive, film, and move a tree at the same time. There we go. Cruise along here. We're gonna drop up and over the other side. Oh yeah, there was a climb right here that I wasn't able to get off camera. So we're gonna see if I can figure it out on camera. And it's this one right here. It's really steep. Gotta get squared up to it. Gotta bump up this just a little bit, just get those rears up. There we go. Now we're getting the fronts up. Just trying to get you guys a view as well as maintain so I can drive. Front end starting to come up the rocks, and then we're gonna have to get that right rear to start coming up. That's where we need it. But this front end always washes off the rock on the driver's side, and I lose traction from the tires not being on the ground. And there's just not quite enough traction here to push the car up this ledge at this point. So let's get you a different angle. I mean, this thing is just crazy steep. It's like the vertical limit of what the car will do without just flipping over backwards. And then I'm trying to navigate an ugly rock ledge on the way up. Ooh, that's close, that's close. That's it, that's it. Come on, come on. No way, we got it on camera, but I never got it off camera. That's awesome. Sweet, pivot around, killer. Just happened to turn a little bit sharper than I might have been trying earlier, so got up there, got that new line done. That's part of the trail now. And then navigate this steep downhill. Nothing real spectacular there, pretty easy. Move across the way to the next set of obstacles. Between that last rock and this rock, this is where you're gonna get your technical fill for this trail. A lot of really tough lines where this car is kind of just barely able to squeak through them, which is saying something because this thing's a pretty capable car. It's not quite my best crawler, but it can definitely do some awesome lines with the 2.2s and the rear steer and the dig. If you know how to use those tools, man, you can really come up with some creative lines for sure. I always like rock formations like this where they're just kind of like all haggard looking, just tons of little details in there in the rock face. And then you got to try and find perfect tire placement to bring the car up. Pretty off camber through there. Yeah, just this nice smooth controlled wheel speed. Now this spot was a real pain earlier. I barely got the fronts through. I had to use dig to kind of force them to hook onto a ledge because that front driver tire ends up trying to drive on the rock above the car. The rear tires start wrapping up on themselves. Come on, car. I'd really like to get it on camera, but it was really tough off camera. Oh, bounced out of our line. And so, yeah, I mean, I definitely drive better off camera just because I'm not trying to like aim something, and it just eliminates one aspect of the crawling for me. I mean, lines are this difficult by themselves. Adding a camera isn't going to make them easier. Ooh, we might have it right here. Got the fronts through. That was kind of the hardest part. You just drag the rear up after that. Nice, we got it done on camera. Not done yet, but that's it. Drive up through here. I tried to go up into that crack, but I can't get balanced on that wall because there's that giant undercut on the right side. So just cruise through here, go up and around, and then it ends up putting us on a really cool drop. It's got a, which it looks scarier than it actually ends up being. Gotta bump our skid through here. There we go, got that weight to carry us through. So yeah, this drop looks terrible, but the shape of it with the little rounded area there, you just drop your skid right in the middle of that. Your car's pretty well locked in, and you can kind of just set the fronts down nice and easy, and then the rears just drive on through. No problem there. And then they'll plop down. So let's use dig to try and make this corner as tight as we can, because it is a drop in front of the car. And the more we can rotate now, the less of the drop we have to navigate later. There we go. Now I'm already going to kick my rears around and start turning what might seem like a weird direction, but it's going to rotate the rear further uphill so that it doesn't have to come off such a big drop. And there we go. Definitely a cool technical section, and then we're gonna go down a crazy steep descent here. So I'm actually gonna back down this spot, and then I'm only gonna use rear steer and just drive it like a normal front steering car. No problem. Now, the most mellow part of this wall has a big drop at the bottom. So just a little bit of wheel speed to stop it from flipping over backwards as we come through, just let it roll. Yeah, big drop at the bottom. Rear steer car makes it easy. And we're out. You can see my tire tracks because I just went and did this loop right before I started the video, just to kind of confirm what's out here and what I want to do. Damn, rocks get caught up on the skid plate. There we go. Wiggled the car out of that situation. Yeah, getting the car all crossed up through here. There's Sydney. She likes to lead the trail, so when we get into the canyon, she's probably going to be in our way quite a bit, but part of having the dog on the trail, I guess. She's a crazy dog. There we go. Now this canyon has two impossible climbs up through here. I've tried to find a way around two of them, and you have to climb up the other side of the mountain, but then once you get up to the top, there's no way to drop in and just drive it with a car. So if I'm going to pick up and move the car, I might as well just drive through the canyon. This one, as much as I want to drive it like a V-notch, I end up just following the rock on the right side, and then the car ends up tipping into the rock, and then we just save it with the rear steer and driving into the rocks. It's going to tip right about here. Oh, maybe it's not going to this time. Steer that rear tire into the wall, balance the car rack out. Oh, came off the wall. Oh, getting her bound up. There we go. Those Spektrum servos are putting in work. It's the S6290 and the 6280, I think. One of them's a shorty. I run a shorty servo on the rear, and then got the standard one up front. What are they? They're the 6250 on the rear, so that's the shorty, and then 6280 in the front. So definitely nice servos. I've been beating the heck out of them for a long time, and they just hold up. They're doing great. They're quiet, they're strong. I really like them. So this car is running the full Spektrum electronic setup in here. Got the Spektrum sensor brushless ESC like we mentioned at the beginning of the video, as well as those Spektrum servos front and rear, and Spektrum servo for the dig. Oh, don't want to go too high on the rear, or on the front, I should say. There we go. Sometimes these rock formations just have weird little ribs and stuff on your way through, which is what makes it fun. That's where the challenge comes from, is figuring out how to navigate the weird little obstacles in the way. Let's get these rears sideways enough. We're gonna turn back into it and drive on through. Here's the second wall that we have to pick up and move the car. This one's like a 4-foot ledge, so it's pretty serious. And here's my dog trying to lead the way. So we're gonna let her through and throw the car up on the next ledge. What do you think, Sid? This one's your trail. I hope you like it. She loves being out here on the rocks with me. She just runs around and goes crazy. Well, it should probably be pretty obvious with the content that I make, but the Axial Capra is one of my all-time favorite cars. It's just super fun. I'm a real big fan of the full-size buggies as well, so being able to have an RC car that just resembles the full-size cars around here, full tube frames, 4-link front and rear, having rear steer, portal axles, it's just such a cool car. And yeah, I think it's a really cool offering from Axial, and I hope in the coming years we see like some variations on it. Obviously we got the rear steer, but I'd love to see some more portal axle buggies from Axial, no doubt. Alright. This one is not easy. I've driven this without rear steer before, but it took me 4 or 5 tries to get the car through. Just letting that front driver sneak under that ledge. Keeping the rears balanced. Any V-notch where the walls are super steep like this is more difficult. A lot of little tiny adjustments. You might not even be able to see them, but just the servo pressuring the tires in different ways will totally affect how the tires are climbing and moving through the canyon. There we go. Sandy climbs are never easy. Just trying to get this thing to get going through some sand. This technically doesn't help us get back to our car, but there's a lot of cool obstacles up here, so we're gonna keep going up here. This is right where it struggled last time too. This wall is just about as steep as this car will handle. So you gotta find the right line. And just the little bumps in the wall will totally affect if the car will go up or not. And luckily, there's a way we can wiggle through. Real off camber through there. Now we're high up. We're way up into this canyon. You can see that's a big drop over there. So you don't want your car to roll out of here. I do this a lot though, which is why I've destroyed multiple cars through the years, because they've fallen off cliffs. And very recently too, I destroyed my other orange Capra not long ago. As I'm talking about it, car falls off the cliff. Okay, there we go. This was the line that I brought up earlier, so this is where I need to be. I really like these swampers because of that big bulky tread lug. You can watch the tire and load up that sidewall right on the corner of the tire, and you can just see how the tread blocks are trying to grab. And most of the time with these Predator or with these Proline G8 compounds, most of the time they will grab. So I really like these tires a lot. We were picking up a tire, we were crazy steep on the edge of a cliff. I don't think that's quite where I want to be though. Kind of shifted over on me. I gotta get this car to rotate back. That rear end's walking around, the front end grabbed a hook. It's gonna pull the whole car up. And notice that I'm leaving my rear tires angled uphill. I don't straighten them because I don't want them straight. If I left them straight, they would slowly work themselves off the edge of the cliff. Might have to, ooh, they barely grabbed. Nice. Thought I was gonna have to drop that tire on the low side of that ledge. There we go. Truck is up. Climb up and over this V-notch. Big overhang on that right side. See that tire poking up over the top. The skid just fits right through there, no problem. Rear tires should pop up. A lot of binding through that. And there we go. Car's up and over. Can't even see anything down there, but there's a place to go. Got the wheeling buddy. She's all the way up here with me. She's pretty good on her feet, knows how to pick the lines right. Comes with a little bit of experience. She's made some bad calls before, but she's figured it out now. My wife and I ended up rescuing her from a family member who was no longer able to take care of her. So that's how we ended up with Sydney. We got her when she was a year and a half, 2 years old. Now she's 6 or 7. So definitely a good dog. She minds well. Loves to be pet. She loves attention. Which is why she's always walking up to me in the middle of these videos. She wants pets. Huh, dog. Probably not where I want to be. I should probably back up to the top and hit that little. Well, things are going weird here. I'm backing up and down an obstacle at the same time. There she goes. This is new. I haven't done this line before. Trying to figure out what I need to do. Drive over the weeds. I think we'll just drop into this little crack and then drive it out. Oh, rear's going a little too much there. That's it. That's it. Yeah. That's a cool line. I like the way it wrapped around like that. And then, hello dog. And then that's gonna drop our front end perfectly down into the crack. Just cruise down this canyon. Now what's cool is there's a big overhang on the driver's side, the right side of the screen. But if you just keep turning into it, it kind of just chases it around and it's really not that big of a drop. That rear's gonna fall down nice and smooth. Yeah. Monster truck those weeds. And we're out of there. Now this climb goes to nowhere, but it's fun, it's technical, it's hard to do. The first time I got it, my front tires are what pulled me all the way up and over. Crank those rears over. Oh, we're in trouble. Nice little save there. Let's see if we can get our rears up sooner. Yeah, that's what we need. So once the rears get on top of this ledge, that puts us in a way better position, and it's not gonna try and like wash our front end out like it already did. And then sneak that front tire up on the right side. Use those rears to push back into the wall. Fronts are gonna hook and pull the whole car through. Okay, now there's just nothing up here. Like, it's a big ugly side hill and it is a 50-foot drop. So because I sold my car, I'm not gonna try and turn it. But if I hadn't sold this, I would try and turn it like that, get it to here, and then we could just travel on down through this spot. But I don't particularly want to grenade any of my cars ever, but I especially don't want to do it when I've already got it sold. So you're welcome, Austin. This is going to my brother, Austin. He's the one who runs Austin's Off-Road Garage. If you guys like full-size off-roading, be sure to check out his channel. And he does lots of mechanic work in his shop where he does how-tos and just shares progress on his builds. So be sure to check it out if you guys like off-road. All right, let's see if we can use our toolbox here to overcome an obstacle like this. This ledge on the left side is an overhang. So I'm going to use my rear steer here to try and position my car in a different angle here. So I mean, with one reverse, we've really changed the angle and our position of attack on this. So I'm going to grab dig now before the car's bound up. There we go, it got it. And then let it walk up that wall without the rears pushing, because with the rears pushing, it's just a ton of strain on the car. So here we go, I grabbed 4-wheel drive again, and I'm going to work the rear back up to the passenger side. And watch that front tire. Let's even grab front dig again and try and level it out a little bit. But you got to keep it balanced. You don't want to lose it. 4-wheel drive. Keep walking that rear around. Let's grab a different view because this is a cool climb. That's it. Got the front end looking good, but I can't see my own tires, so I need to be in a position where I can see them all. So that's it. We got plenty of bite on that driver tire. And I'm still trying to walk those rears around. We're going to hit our rock slider really hard. But I'm going to keep those front tires pinned in that direction because I want to keep them on that rock as much as possible. That's going to help keep us with traction on the ground. It's going to help it pull the whole car through. So at this point, we can start straightening the rear. And we're going to need to rear up on the wall, straighten up the fronts. We can even let that front tire come up quite a ways. And right here, it's just going to allow us to dip that rear through the crack, because with the overhang on that, without having rear dig like a real car does, I wouldn't have been able to get through it. But using the cage and the rock sliders and the dig and all that with the rear steer, made that look easy. I just kind of talked my way through it, which is what took most of the time. Getting a good view, that's a huge benefit too. Just take the time to get a good view for what you're doing, especially in a competition. And here we go, guys. We made it back up to the top. We're going to drop back down and head out of this canyon. Don't even know where I'm going. Just driving off of stuff. This Capra eats it up though. Yep, still in my face. Get out of the way, dog. Move. Okay, so had our fun up top. Now we got to get back down to the bottom. I've never driven down this before, so we're gonna film my attempt at doing it. That's it. Letting that rear just creep on down. Here we go. We're going to follow the same line we brought up, but obviously it's always different when you're going down, especially with the weight balance of the car. This car should be fairly even. It's pretty close to balanced. It's got a little bit of forward bias, but not a crazy amount. There's no weights or anything in this car. I'm going to hold the fronts that way. Yeah, the rear just kind of slid down to where I want. It's got that shelf to protect it. I'm actually going to front burn the front end downhill. And you can also use front dig all the way out, and your rears just drag. It's like putting rear brakes on. So, but there are times where you do want your rear to turn. So like right here, I think I just want the tires to rotate as it comes off of this. Just taking my time, nice and easy. Yeah, set that front end down nice and smooth. We got a nice little anchor here. Let's just front burn around. Trying to take the pressure off that dig unit. There she goes. And then again, Gonna square up to this drop. Front end's gonna plop off. Shouldn't go anywhere. Rears are gonna push us the rest of the way. Make our turn, and then head out. That was a cool one. Definitely always exciting to go the opposite way down something. And that's some real technical stuff with high risk, because if you get that wrong, your car goes 40 feet down under rocks. And let me tell you, the Capra portals do not like that. And there we go. Well, let's keep heading out. Cool little formation, nothing technical. You can kind of just cruise right through all this, but definitely cool nonetheless. I think we made a wrong turn because I don't have tracks down here. And this is not the same loop that I did earlier, so I'm gonna go back up and find a way around. Let's try that one more time. Hmm. 2300 kV system in this on 3S, 4200 pack. Biggest battery you can stuff in a Capra. Let's see if we can get it here. Yep, carry me up. That's it. Rear tire swing around. Now we're back where we need to be. Work that truck around the point, steep and off camber. Yes, I did this earlier. That's what this was. So instead of turning downhill right here, I'm gonna side hill through this. I did it first try earlier. Let's not mess that track record up. That's it. Pretty wild looking. And definitely pretty sideways. And then just bring the car off. Oh. That might work. Throw it and dig. We're gonna drop off this, but keep our wheels moving. Oh, that didn't work. Just follow the sand dunes out. Well, from here, guys, it's basically just sand dunes and a flat road back to the truck. Just cruise down through these canyons. Awesome place to come for a hike, hang out with the dog, drive the RC cars. So this is probably a long video. We'll see how it ends up being once I get it all edited, but I'm gonna show probably about 99% of what you saw. All right, guys, my name's Logan with West Desert Wheeler. Hope you enjoyed it. Use the affiliate links down below. I have a link to my brother's YouTube channel, Austin's Off-Road Garage, Sky RC, Rock Pirates RC, Axial themselves. Thanks to all those dudes. We'll see you guys in the next one. Keep the rubber side down.